Good morning, friends. I'm Stacy, and this is Skin Chat Live. And today we're talking about estrogen and how estrogen affects the skin. Estrogen actually has so many effects on our body and our health and our vibrancy as we age. Those of us who have been through perimenopause or menopause know that firsthand. But it's really important to kind of dial in and understand why estrogen affects our skin the way it does and maybe how we can slow that down or prevent it. So I will share with you guys my experience with bioidentical hormones, but also with a topical estrogen cream that is less potent. I've talked about this before, but I didn't go into a lot of detail, and I didn't talk about the different types of estrogen and why a topical estrogen cream is not really something to worry about as far as any underlying health risks. Having said that, it is important to check with your doctor. So I'm Stacy, a master medical esthetician with over 30 years experience in the beauty and aesthetics industry. If gorgeous skin and saving money is something you're interested in, you are in the right place. Take just a minute if you're here with me, like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of future videos. This will let you know what topics are coming up. If you can't make the live, you can always catch the replay later. Let's dive right into estrogen and how it affects our skin. I've got some notes here, you guys, because I do want to make sure I'm giving you accurate information. And if I find any studies or updates, I will list them in the comments below. So you can always pop back to this video, because as I find more information, I'll list it in the comments, because I think the more we know about how estrogen affects our lives and our longevity and just our vibrancy as we age, not to mention our skin, the more we know, the more empowered we are to do something about it. So estrogen helps stimulate collagen. I talk about collagen all the time, and a lot of the treatments that I focus on at Gorgeously Aging Advanced and at my website, Gorgeously Aging, focus on stimulating collagen. So our collagen slows as we age, and estrogen is a big precursor to collagen. So as we go through perimenopause and menopause, after we get out of our reproductive years, our estrogen starts to slowly drop, with a major drop after menopause. So that will affect the plumpness of our skin. Estrogen is responsible for producing, for boosting hyaluronic or signaling the production of hyaluronic acid, which is natural in our bodies. So many things are affected as we lose estrogen. And then we have a rapid onset of aging and skin aging, and then body aging, inflammation, and other things in our body once we hit menopause and we really lose estrogen. So there are so many benefits to estrogen, and understanding that estrogen isn't just one hormone, there's some subhormones or different types of estrogens. This is really important. So the first type of estrogen is estrone. This is the estrogen, it's called E1 or estrone, that is predominant in our bodies after menopause. So this is one I don't concern myself with too much, because it's really not the estrogen that we've lost from, as we've aged. Estradiol is the most powerful and potent form of estrogen. Now, this is usually what's prescribed or given to you in bioidentical hormone. So it comes in the form of a patch, or like I've had the pellets where they put the estradiol pellet in your butt, and then that gradually is dispersed into the body over time. And this helps to keep a youthful level of estrogen. Most bioidentical hormones are considered safe for most people. My mom had breast cancer, and when I discussed this with my bioidentical hormone doctor, she was not in the least concerned. Estrogen actually has a lot of protective benefits, and the confusion is that years ago, estrogens were prescribed that weren't bioidentical. Our bodies weren't necessarily accepting them as our own hormone, and they were given at a prescription dose that was maybe too high. Now, there are some people that shouldn't have estrogen replacement or hormone replacement therapy, and that's something that you should always speak with a doctor. But in reading the research and talking to my hormone doctor, I really feel comfortable staying on bioidentical hormones for quite a long time. And how long you stay on them is really dependent on your situation. You can stay on them much longer than what was previously thought. So that's something that should be discussed with a doctor, and each individual case is different depending on underlying health issues. But estrogen has such an important role in the vibrancy and health of a woman's body, and the rapid onset of aging that we hit after menopause isn't really necessarily, I don't want to say fair, but it isn't conducive to us living the second half of our life as healthy and vibrant as we did the first half. And if we can, because now people are living much longer, if we can maintain healthy vibrancy throughout the second half of our life, I think that's really important, and do it safely. Okay, so then we have estrone, estradiol, and estriol. So estriol is the cream, or the cream I'm going to show you, but that's a form of estrogen that is predominant during pregnancy. So estriol is the weakest form of these estrogens, and during pregnancy, our predominant hormone is progesterone. So estriol has its benefits topically on the skin, but it generally won't change your blood serum estrogen. So although some of it may get into your system through your skin, it is a weaker form of estrogen, and it will benefit the skin topically where you put it. It isn't going to give you the systemic benefits like the more powerful form of estrogen, estradiol, but it will give you benefits where you apply it. Am I talking too fast, you guys? So menopause creates major changes in a woman's life. We all know this. Those of you who are maybe younger and haven't hit that point yet, it's good to research that ahead of time. I was forced into really researching a lot about menopause and talking to doctors because I did have a complete hysterectomy at the age of 42. I really wanted to know what this was going to do to me as far as, I knew that hot flashes were common with menopause and lack of libido, but I started to get concerned about what else was going to change. And I think at that time, because I was so young, I had seen somebody say, like menopause is the worst, you're itchy, you're bitchy, you have no sex drive, your skin gets dried up, you start to get wrinkled. And I was just petrified. I did not want to have that happen to me at 40. It just sounded horrible. And so I started to do my own research and talk to a bioidentical hormone doctor. Now, it's important to talk to somebody who specializes in this because most mainstream medical doctors, they're still under the guise that hormone replacement is bad, it causes cancer, and most really don't know enough about it. Quite honestly, when I talk to my normal practitioners, they just always say, you know more about bioidentical hormones than I do, just because of my experience with working with a hormone doctor. Just know that your general doctor isn't necessarily the right person to talk to about this. They're going to misguide you because it's not their specialty. So talk to somebody who it is their specialty, and also do your own homework. So one way we can protect our skin from some of those negative changes from estrogen loss is to pay attention to our own bodies, pay attention to when we're starting to feel those changes of perimenopause. These happen in most people after our reproductive years. And then start to study, maybe get a hormone test. And unfortunately, a lot of these things with a bioidentical hormone doctor are out of pocket. I suggest, kind of saving up for it. I have a couple different like fund savings account. They're little investment accounts that I use apps for. I'll do a whole nother video on that, but I think it's the Acorns app rounds up every time I make a purchase. And that money, say the purchase was $10.75, then 25 cents would go into this account. And I just let that build. And that's the money that I use for, my hormone stuff or just any like personal selfish things that I want, personal needs. And that's a really good way to go about getting the things that you want. It's just, you don't even know that it's going to this account. I'll share a whole nother video on that and I'll link it down below because it's great when there are things that you want, but you feel a little selfish about indulging or taking money out of the family budget. And that's what I do personally. So we talked about the 3 different kinds of estrogen. And estradiol is the patch that I'm currently using. But I do want to say to anybody who's researching this, the reason I'm using the estradiol patch instead of the pellets is because I moved from Wisconsin to Colorado and I still have not yet found the perfect fit for a hormone replacement doctor. I think I have to drive to Denver, which is several hours away from me. I live in the mountains, to see somebody that really is good at the pellets. But the pellets are the way to go because they're injected into your butt. They last for 6 months and it's just a kind of gradual release. You don't have to think about it. And you don't have to stick a patch on your body like several times a week. It's usually twice a week you have to apply the estrogen patch to your body. So the estrogen patches, as far as expense, if you can get a mainstream medical doctor to prescribe them for you, an estradiol patch, sometimes they're covered under insurance, sometimes they're not. That's how I started when I had my hysterectomy, was with the estrogen patch. And then I went to pellets and then I moved and now I'm back to the patch again, but I much prefer the estradiol pellets. So just something to share with you in case you are going down that road of studying for hormone replacement. I just want to get to my notes here. So topical estrogen cream. This is what I'm using on my face. I use it every day at night usually. It's called Estriol Life. This is that weaker form of estrogen called estriol. I know it's confusing because estriol and estradiol sound so much alike, but estriol is that weaker form of estrogen, but still important. and you can apply it topically to your face. I do this after my active ingredients. I do my skincare routine. I do my tretinoin, and then I let the tretinoin settle in. I do 1 pump of the estrogen cream, let that settle in, and then do a heavy night cream because I have dry skin. So the only side effect I have noticed from a Estriol cream, topical cream, is an occasional zit. So a little pimple once in a while. I'll take that as long as I have plump, hydrated, youthful skin. So that usually takes about 2 to 3 months to really see a noticeable difference. And at 6 months, you'll start to really see the difference. So it takes some consistency, just like tretinoin, to see the benefits in your skin. But I've been using a topical estrogen cream for 5 years now. I've tried a few different brands, usually affordable brands. This is just one that I like the texture of it. It's affordable. I'll link it down below. It's a great cream. I like it. It seems like it locks in moisture in my skin too, but I don't use it as my last step night cream. I still put on something because I do have dry skin. So something to note about the Estriol creams is that, like I said earlier, they're not likely to change your blood serum estrogen levels. So these are a weaker form. If you're overusing it, there's a potential for that. But if you're using just 1 pump nightly, probably not going to change your blood serum of estrogen. Definitely if you have underlying health concerns or a history of cancers or anything that makes you concerned, ask a doctor. But like I said, most general doctors really don't know a lot about this, and they'll probably steer you away from any topical estrogen. So do your own research online. And if you have the opportunity, consult with a bioidentical hormone doctor who knows about all these things and specializes in them. You guys, I always appreciate you being here with me, taking a little bit of time out of your day. I hope these videos are helpful and informative for you. If they are, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and give me some ideas for upcoming chats because I want to know what questions you guys have to help you on your aging journey. Thanks so much for sharing a piece of your day with me. I will see you guys in my next video. Love and appreciate you all. See you next time.